when hot topics come around that need to be talked about and have to find their place, this isn't something that just broke just a few minutes ago, but it came out yesterday. And let's start here, Joe. And it deals with horse racing. For the casual sports fan who just likes big events, that's a lot of people out there. You know what? I don't really follow the NBA all that much during the regular season, but boy, I like the playoffs. I think it's pretty cool. The Stanley Cup, you know what? Going through those playoffs, I like to root on my team, but you know what? Once we get deeper into the rounds and watch the Stanley Cup finals, you can enjoy that. Not a huge football fan. That's kind of crazy to me, but maybe you dip in for the playoffs and the Super Bowl and it's a big event. Same thing with college sports, college basketball, and college football. But for horse racing, once a year we line up. And it's similar to golf. Like, hey, the Masters is on there. Hey, it's pretty cool. Let's watch it and tune in. But the Masters, once it's done, hard maybe to say, like, okay, let me sell you the PGA Championship and the British Open. Nah, I'm out. I just like the Masters. I like the golf course. It's always there. Horse racing, we understand this. Triple Crowns are hard to win. That is the Kentucky Derby. That's the Preakness, followed by the Belmont. The one thing that we usually have the luxury of, Joe Ranieri, is we all get excited because the bigness of the Kentucky Derby, the fashion, the horses we hear about for a couple weeks, we watch it play out in front of us. And there is a champion of the Kentucky Derby, which was Sovereignty. So immediately we go, all right, Preakness is on in a couple weeks. Can we have a Triple Crown contender that can at least make it to the Belmont? And yesterday, news came down that Sovereignty will skip the Preakness and now target the Belmont. So my question to you is this as we start here. If Sovereignty's goal is, hey, I want to win the Kentucky Derby, which is great, and for the owners, the trainers, you get it, and I just want to go off into the sunset and make money with stud fees, that's great. You shouldn't be, in my term, you should not be able to skip the Preakness and then parachute back into the Belmont and say, well, I won two of the legs at that point and make even more stud fees. If you are in it all the way through, like you can't even, Joe, for me, and I don't even know if correct me if this is a rule or not. Can you say, I'm not going to run in the Kentucky Derby, but I'm going to run in the Preakness? Can you actually do that?
Yeah, and yes, absolutely. You have to qualify for certain races. And listen, the problem, Donnie, is that, go back a couple of decades with the Alydars and the Secretariats and the way horse racing used to be is that these horses, when they got to the Kentucky Derby, had already raced 6 times in that year as a 3-year-old. It wasn't their second or third or just fourth race. These horses these days are not bred and they are not raced to be able to go through a race every 2 weeks, which is basically what you have to do. That's not what these horses have been bred to do anymore. It's basically either one and done, or I'll try 2 of the 3 legs, and we'll see how that goes. And listen, it could be a million reasons why, money, of course, being, I'm sure, at the top of the reason list, but there could be a million reasons why they don't want to go to the Preakness. It could be, maybe it's too much on the horse. Again, a horse that's run, 4 times, 5 times in his life, all of a sudden now is going to run 3 races in 5 weeks. I mean, you're asking a horse to do something, and it's much more risky these days to have a horse do that gauntlet there and expect him to be okay on the outside. Plus, the money's earned in bank. You won the Kentucky Derby. So if you're a horse that's bred for longer distances, which they must feel Sovereignty is, then, hey, 2 out of 3 legs, still a pretty good payday when it's all said and done. But you can't risk a horse if you don't think it's in its best interest in order to be able to race, because the Triple Crown is alive and well.
Yeah, because and I get that point too. It's like I'm not looking at this saying like, hey man, like we came up and the hoof is a little bit banged up here. He's got to skip a couple weeks. Everybody understands that from a human standpoint, right? Like nobody wants to put an animal in danger. But I just feel like it's turned into, let me just turn this loose because I know I have a guaranteed profit. And the only way I don't is, boy, and again, horses are bred differently now where they run races and they can get hurt. And it's not like a human being like, okay, I broke my leg, I'll just go rehab it for 3 weeks. Like a broken leg is like a death sentence for a horse at that point. And I get where they're trying to protect their investment. But how do we make this better? Like in the past, like there was a time, Joe, where heavyweight boxing was the king prize of the world and everybody would watch. And then it turned into a fallacy because they basically did it to themselves, rigging, shots here, avoiding fights, never getting the fights we want to see. We see all that stuff, and other sports do it as well. Like the NBA, there was a time where everybody played every game unless they were seriously injured. Now we don't do that. It's load management, which again takes a tax or toll off of the players. But for the fans, they don't like that in the regular season. Hey, primetime TNT tonight. Yeah, the 3 best players in the games aren't playing. Oh, are they injured? No. They just decided to take the night off, and away you go. How can horse racing make this better? Because I understand the old school thought process. The Triple Crown is supposed to be hard, and I get that. Where it's like, you know what? You're going to have to race all the way through, and those are the parameters, which is why it doesn't happen every year. But if you're just talking about the health of a sport where you want to command interest, can we make changes by pushing the race back a week or two? Like myself would be fine with it because I want to see Triple Crowns. And I want to see the horses race in each race here. But is it just too much of the old school mentality? Nope. It's the way it's always been. It's never going to change. You just can't have a Triple Crown then.
It will. The problem is, Donnie, is that it's not just one barn, one owner, one situation. Now you've got syndicates of people who own the horse and are involved and have a say into what happens with the horse these days. And also you got to think if you don't like the track, if you don't think the horse can win it, then why are you entering it, right? I mean, that could be the other thing, too, is that if you don't think he can win it, you'd rather win the Belmont because you think he's actually bred to come from that kind of distance? I mean, it's the longest of all the races. Maybe that's the race you target. I just don't think they have enough confidence in the horse here at this point, given the circumstances, that they're going to go ahead and run him in a race that they don't feel he can win.
Like just back in the day, being from like the Philadelphia area, Barbaro, Smarty Jones, like they captivated an entire region for like a month and a half.
They were good enough to win, though.
Yeah,
they were good enough to win.
Because when you sit back and say to yourself, like, oh my goodness, like this is so much fun. And yes, horse racing can make a rebirth. Like that's what drives the public interest. And I understand that the staunch people that say you can't change things up. It's the way it's always been. But if you want horse racing to survive, like the Triple Crown race is why people tune in to this point. And the more people involved, the more money you make, the more eyeballs on it. You can turn some of these horses into true superstars. It's just a shame we won't see that even in the Preakness.